There's a lot of talk of Penny Mordaunt taking over the leadership from Sunak before the next general election. And I should imagine it's because she sits through PMQs and actually looks to be listening to the questions and the answers, rather than just sitting there like a nodding donkey or shouting their mouth off like a confused ape. It's also clear that she does her homework and comes to business questions with attack lines on Labour. But it is something that she said in this week's business questions that really did come across as quite twisted to me. After Lucy Powell had listed off all the reasons why Tories MPs had left the chamber in this parliament, Penny Mordaunt would go and compare Labour's so-called militant union donations to that of some middle-aged white guy wanting a black MP to be shot. But it's what she said afterwards that really shows how the Tories are operating on a scorched earth policy. In a kind of a gotcha moment, she says that Labour have dropped their 28 billion pledge but kept the policy, and then goes on to say, aha, but now you've got no money to pay for the NHS appointments or the breakfast clubs or the home installation. All the things would actually be beneficial to people. The Tories aren't going to do this. They have absolutely no interest in doing stuff like that. They're not even governing right now, but they want to make it as hard as possible for Labour to come in and actually make a change to people's lives. It's awful. Can you imagine the amount of money we would have saved on our heating bills if the government had paid for all our houses to be insulated? Yes, granted, there will be a large section of society that can afford to do that themselves. But there is also a massive section of society that can't afford to do that. And they're getting battered by these fuel costs. And after that she's reeled off all these plans that Labour want to do when they come into government, in their next very breath, they'll turn around and say, you don't have a plan. But here she is, listing all the things that they're trying to stop you from having.
They say they back our tax cuts, but they won't vote for them. Yep. And as a consequence, they can't now say how they'd fund NHS appointments, breakfast clubs, NHS equipment, dentistry appointments, home installation, their own state-owned energy company, and their wealth fund. No amount of confected drama and virtue signalling can disguise the fact that it is the same old Labour Party, the same old hypocrisy and the same old games. This week, in the real world, outside the Westminster bubble, which is where we're focused, cancer deaths for middle-aged people are down by a third. Yep. Revised forecasts are showing the economy is growing. Yep. For the 8th month in a row, real wages are rising. Mr. Speaker, the plan is working, unlike Labour's line of attack, and the honourable member for Broxbourne is very excited about it.
As I said earlier, Lucy Powell did actually point out the many, many reasons, many sick reasons, why the Tories have left the chamber. And you can watch all of that in the video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.